Here we go. Oh, I have to play the video.
Right now, it's not about talent, it's about heart. It's about who can go out there and play the hardest. Now, they've been here before. They're not going to give it to us. We got to go out there and we got to take it, right? Take it! Take it! I want you to go out there and take it. Take it! 1, 2, 3, take it!
Yo, 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 what up? Sports Savage live. I just punched something in my room, but it's all good. Garrett Savage from sunny Los Angeles, California, and I'm joined by the best in the business, the hub of the NBA world in Orlando, Florida. Smooth talking. Sammy, what up?
What up, world? Savage Life, what's happening? It's been a long time, and to be honest, there's a lot going on in this world, and I can't do this right now, so I can't. I'm just kidding. What's up, though?
Almost, man. So we're gonna get into that. It's the elephant in the room. But before we get into that, you can call or text live, babe. 470-391-4034. You can text in a question. If you do, say who you are unless you want to remain anonymous. If you call and we're in the middle of talking, I'm not going to stop everything to answer the phone. So leave a voicemail if you don't pick up. This is going to be the format. We're going to be live. It's way easier on me, and it's all about me. Right, Sammy?
I mean, look at you.
What can I say?
Why would it not be?
It's all about me, but it is easier, and this way it's a better way to connect with our fans and stuff like that. Our fans, quote unquote fans, but just easier. We can be more consistent.
Make life easier.
Yeah, it makes life easier, and it's cool. It's gonna be more of like a laid back environment. The last Sports Savage was a lot in your face. We're still gonna have that. I'm still gonna do that a zillion times. I'm gonna try to sit on my hands so I don't. But this is it. We want interaction. We're going to try new things, other things. We'll get into that later on, but call or text. Holla at me.
Reach out.
So, Sammy, where do we start? We start with, what's been going on. So, why don't you set the stage?
Right now we have a world where not only is there a national pandemic going on, but police are out here killing black people. And now professional athletes are taking a stand or using their voice or disrupting people's lives, however you really want to look at it. But we are a sports show, and it's affecting sports. So with that being said, I am in the Old Town, as people know who follow the show or know me in general. I have no choice but to be Orlando, as you see by the hats that I wear and the shit that I talk. But it's also happening where the bubble is, where the NBA players are actually taking that stand. So things have been postponed, more so paused than canceled. But people are trying to use their voice to hopefully make a change.
Yeah, so if you live under a rock, NFL, well, not NFL, they didn't go to practice, but NBA teams didn't play. It was playoffs. These games meant a lot. Maybe not the Lakers game so much. They were probably going to smoke them. But, this is the first time we've ever seen athletes do this kind of thing. And now people are saying, what if the NFL does it? Would it make more of a statement? I support the players. I think, they have a platform. And I think they should continue to play. What do you think?
I wouldn't say this is the first time we've seen players do this. More so like a unified stand as far as like a league. Shout out to the WNBA. They're the first league where each player in solidarity agrees to protest or to not play. But you've had people who decided to take a stand against injustice for years. This is just kind of more amplified just based off the media level that we have today and the amount of players that are doing it. So to your point, it's more popular these days. It's easier to the point we were making earlier in the show. But with that being said, it's still meaningful. So you got a lot riding on these games. It's not the regular season, it's the playoffs. These games matter. There's a lot of eyeballs on Orlando and on Disney World and on ESPN and TNT and NBA TV. So it definitely means something. I'm just more so, I don't want to be trapped in the symbolism. And I also don't want my professional athletes to act as politicians or to act as leaders in this world, which they are not. I can understand the role model argument because they definitely make a lot of money and they want you to buy a lot of shit and they'll sell you a lot of things. But as far as actual leaders in this free world, I definitely understand when people find that a little odd. But to ignore the power that they have would be even odder. So it's kind of like a crossroad. I'm definitely a fan of sports. I love basketball. It's my favorite sport. But with that being said, I'm black before I'm a basketball fan. So I understand where they're coming from.
I am not. But
a basketball fan?
I'm not. It was a bad joke. I'm not black before I'm.
Oh, you're not black?
No.
Oh shit.
I'm trying to fit in with the shirt, but anyway, like I mean, I was so into the playoffs this year. I don't know if it's just because sports, we didn't have it. We didn't know if we were getting it back. The bubble isn't going to work. I mean, it sounds like a cool idea, and people, and here's something I'm going to say about all these big wigs in the bubble right now. Hold on. We got buffering.
Oh, you big wigs, you guys are going to get it.
No. So, and I know I shouldn't, I'm going to play, you can play the race card, I can play the vet card. And I'm going to play it right here, right now. So, we got, a lot of these athletes, okay, they got to go to Orlando. Okay, they're in quarantine. It sucks. You're in a weird hotel. You're away from your friends. You're away from your family. I was in Afghanistan for 9 months, Sammy. 9 months in a tent with a zillion other people, okay? 9 months in a hostile environment, okay? We didn't have Disney breakfasts every morning. But I knew what I was getting into, when I signed up for that kind of thing, right? So I can understand because it sucks. It does suck being isolated for it's actually helped me prepare for COVID because I was used to this. I've done this before, so I was equipped to it. Even though it's very shitty and it's not fun to do at all. But I just part of me wants to say that to these guys, but then another part of me knows they've never done anything like this before. That's not what they signed up for. So part of me wants to say, you know what, toughen up. Show me what you got. But on the other hand, it's what am I going to do?
I mean, it's a forced summer camp for very talented adults to entertain other adults. It's not necessary. It's really not anything that we need. And although we're the Sports Savage show, we're the type of show that lets you know shit like that. I can understand why players will have reservations for signing up on that. If you have a chance to win a championship, if you genuinely feel that in your heart, you don't necessarily want a pandemic or something that you can't control to take that away from you. So it is very American to provide these players with the ability to go out there and compete and to play and as well as to entertain us. But to say that it was something that was voluntary would be a stretch because you have pressure from your team, from your organization, from your teammates, from the public. So with that being said, I can understand both sides. I can understand someone who's saying, go out there and get your money to go play basketball because that's what you do for a living. But at the same time, these are unprecedented times. So, you kind of got to take everything with a little bit of perspective.
It's true. Grand Floridian's a nice hotel. That's where they're hanging out. I never got to stay the night. Cruised by a few times. It was pretty cool. But
I want to know where these employees at, though. Where are these employees? Disney employees, get at me. Where are y'all at? Hit up the show. Are y'all in the bubble? Do y'all go home at night? Is there a secret off-campus hotel that y'all stay in? Disney employees, let me know. Did they kick y'all out and it's all NBA? What's up?
Disney employees it's a cult. You have to join the Disney cult when you work there. So they all live very close. There's a bubble within the bubble at Disney or Kissimmee, there's all this, I don't want to get into it because people enjoy working at Disney. I don't want to alienate our Disney crowd, so I'm just gonna, put.
Oh yeah, shout out to Mickey and Minnie and all of them.
All right, so real deal question: what do you think the NBA is going to do at this point? So they're gonna play. Are there going to be stipulations? Are there going to be we want this before that? How far are they going to push it? Can they push it? What will they accomplish?
Okay, so the real accomplishments will come with actual change. So what I'm beginning to hearing, which is also making a lot of sense from different pundits on different networks, is these meetings between the owners and the coaches and the players are raising questions about what the owners can do to actually help with police brutality or with social injustice. And the answer to those questions are a lot. It's just more so on the sheer will. Do they want to? There are several billionaires in this country off of professional sports alone. And if you don't know that money kind of run American politics, I'm not really here to teach you that lesson. But let's just say that if the owners were inclined to listen to the political arguments of their employees, that would be the change that we would see as a country that would benefit everyone. I don't really know what the NBA, the NFL, or any professional sports team can do more than come up with catchy slogans for shirts and sports apparel for the teams to wear and to provide moments before and after the games where the players can talk. But to be honest, I'm talking right now, and a lot of people are able to talk. So if you're talking about actual change for America and for the downtrodden people when it comes to police and the shitty things they do, that's going to come with legislation, and only powerful people can actually control that, unless actually all of us go out there and take our part in that process.
And I think what they're trying to do is like the Meek Mill situation with Robert Kraft. I mean, that dude, he expedited that pretty quick. We can shit on Kim Kardashian, but she did stuff. Like, it goes to show, if you're powerful, if you have money, if you have, if you were known, which is basically all the power you need, you can make stuff happen. So I think that's what they're going to pressure their owners. They're going to pressure maybe even their fan base. Who knows? We want to see certain things happen, and more power to them. Like, it's about time. Like the power to the player. Like, we're seeing a total swap. I mean, they're getting paid more deals, more this, and now they're reclaiming what's theirs. So it's very interesting that this is happening. And
yeah, I mean, absolutely. Let's not get it twisted. It's still going to come down to the owners of these businesses, being professional sports, really making different decisions. Because this isn't the first instance where police have been brutal to minorities and to black people. And these sports, other than hockey, golf, and baseball, have been predominantly black for decades now. So these aren't things that are new or things that the owners or people in charge are unaware of. It's just more so this is new for someone, I guess, who doesn't directly have ties to the situation, inconvenience people, inconvenience the world by using what power they do have by not providing entertainment to the world. And then you look at it from a whole scale, it's kind of sad that we got to look at it for people to entertain us, for that to be taken away, for us to kind of look at the world like, oh shit, what's going on? But I mean, that's where it is. So when you say what can actually bring change, or what can the players do, all they can really do is talk to the people in charge and let them know how serious they are about what they have to say, and see if that has any effect.
Sports is a lovely distraction. I mean, just think about where it came from, like in Rome. Like, why do you think there was gladiators? So they could distract people while they, did other things. But I like it. I like to watch sports. It is a good way to get distracted. But so when they said that they weren't going to play, like, I freaked out. I was like, no way. Like, I can't believe they're not going to play. And then they were like, because I selfishly wanted to watch. It's like selfishly, I want to watch the games, but I understand what they're doing. So, I wasn't going to like jump off a cliff about it, but I was very shocked. And, and it affected so many people. Like, a show I like to watch is Inside the NBA. It's got Ernie, Shaq, Chuck, and Kenny the Jet. So they asked him, what he felt about, Doc Rivers made an emotional, incredible speech. I saw it live after the game, not to brag or anything, but when I saw it, I was, I stopped what I was doing. Like, I literally put my phone down and I watched. I was like, right. He was pouring his heart out. And then subsequently, Kenny the Jet, when they, asked him about it, he left. He got up off the stage and said he was going to stand in solidarity. And the whole show was so somber. And I love Ernie, but he's such a crybaby. Like, he's always about to just explode into tears, but you love him for it because he's been through a lot, but he's such a good host with those guys, like, because And anyway, they're asking Shaq, and they're giving all these like heartfelt. It's just so emotional, and then they end the show. It's like Ernie's just about to lose it. They're playing violins, and it's over with. So then I see that right after this, Sammy, no break, no nothing. A movie comes on TNT, and I'm like, oh, okay, and then it's dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. It's this big girl's ass on the screen, and it's The Longest Yard Adam Sandler edition. So I'm just like, oh, it's not even one of his best movies. This is how tone deaf TNT is. In the first 5 minutes in that movie, he goes on a joyride, right? Gets pulled over by 2 cops who are white. They're just having a good old time. You're not drinking, are you? Yeah, do you mind holding my beer? He burns away from those cops. This is Adam Sandler, by the way, and he was like a professional football player or whatever. He crashes his car. Helicopter's there. He gets out. He's laughing. He got his drink, and he's drinking. I'm just like, they couldn't play Remember the Titans. They couldn't play Glory Road. Like, they couldn't play something that had a little more, like, substance than, like, one of Adam Sandler's worst movies. Come on, TNT. You gotta read the temperature in the room, baby. Like, that was bad. But
hey man, they just had it reeled up, man. You can't go wrong with the Sandler, man.
And that's it's just a bad movie. So let's actually talk sports, Sammy. Playoffs in the NBA. What has shocked you the most?
What has shocked me the most? I have to come off with 3 things off the top of my head. T.J. Warren, shout out to him improving his game. He looks like more than a role player, so I gotta respect him for that. The Miami Heat looking like a championship contender, or at least a finals contender. I really like them, what Jimmy Butler was able to bring to the table, and that makes me feel really bad saying anything positive about the Heat. And man, really the Phoenix Suns run. Even though they didn't make the playoffs, I really didn't like how that worked out. It really was more so set up for Zion to get in and really no one else. But with that being said, you can put that on Phoenix for not winning enough games in the fucking regular season to even be really in the running. But the fact that they were able to kind of come together as a team in that whole situation, being in the bubble and then go undefeated. If you're Monty Williams, you gotta like the way that looks for your whole coaching staff. But yeah, those are the 3 things that really come off the top of my head where I was genuinely surprised.
All right, I got 3 things. It's the same word. Luka, Luka, Luka. He's the best player in the NBA, Sammy. Tell me he's not. Tell me he's not the best player in the NBA.
He's not the best player in the NBA. Only there's 2 sides of the basketball.
Blasphemy. Who's the best?
I'm still probably rocking with the king, maybe Giannis. Give me a little Kevin Durant before you give me some Luka. I mean, you can't just be. I can't blow by you defensively.
That's true.
Luka's top 5. Dead or alive. And that's just off 2 LPs.
And obviously, I'm kidding around a little bit, but like that shot he made against the Clippers, like that was his moment. That was his moment to shine. And then he got the shit beat out of him in the next game. So the fact that there is
on a bad ankle.
Yeah, after he got and that guy like stepped on his shoe and like it was an accident.
One of the Morris twins. I don't want to talk about them. They don't deserve anything.
But I mean, so I'm thinking like they're resting a game, which is like an extra few days. Like that's got to be. I was thinking about this. Like, who does that benefit more? Does it benefit the Mavs more because then they get to heal up? I think it kind of hurts LeBron and Lake Show. They were on a roll that last game. Like they had a lot of momentum, and now you wait 2 days. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean they had momentum, but they're also facing a deflated Trailblazer team that's pretty much run out of gas. So unless Dame is able to have a resurgence or hop into some kind of hyperbolic time chamber, he's too beat up to really make that series. So they should still come out pretty good. If I'm the Mavericks, I'm appreciating this. I don't know the Porzingis details, but the sooner I get him back, or if he's able to make an appearance again in this series, I feel like we can beat him because we beat you without him. We have the best player in the series, arguably the highest performer in Luka Doncic in this series, and that really can't be debated. So that's I'm not really surprised at what Luka's able to do. I was really high on him coming out of the Euros, just his build and what he was able to do.
I gotta
didn't know he
stop
was
you
that
right there,
poor.
Sammy. So I was thinking about this. We got to add this into the show because I was thinking I was high on someone today, and I was like, well, how high am I? Like, am I Snoop Dogg high? Am I like 14-year-old punk high? How high are you on Luka Doncic based on that scale?
How high am I on Luka Doncic at this moment? I'm 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 not Snoop Dogg level. I'm like Spitter level, man. And shout out to the real homies who know who Spitter is. Shout out to Currency. I'm on his level. If you know, he partakes in a lot of marijuana. But I have been a Luka fan from day one. I enjoy what Trae Young does, but I feel like Atlanta is really gonna look like some shitheads down the line unless they build a nice cast around Trae Young. But just his build, the way he's set up, and any guard who can willingly pass the ball and score, especially in today's league, is going to be able to do something. So I definitely had the foreign, kind of worries about him, but he put that to rest his rookie year. So what he's doing now is surprising, but I wouldn't say anything that he's not capable of. It's really more so on Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. PG showed up that last game. He was able to bring something to the table. But Kawhi, I'm hearing a lot of rumblings from a lot of pundits that Kawhi is about to be a legendary player once he, doubles up as champion with a third franchise. And that's definitely something that puts him on a legendary level. But as far as the all-time greats, I don't know. I question that a little bit. So to have a guy his second year really go blow for you, 7 seed, that's pretty interesting. But we'll see what comes maybe Saturday.
Yeah, I think they said they were going to start Friday with some of the games. So the Magic made it. Have they already lost, or are they still have games to play?
Ha 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 ha!
I'm serious.
They are down 3-1 after a shocking Game 1 upset. But we don't have any LeBron James and Kyrie Irvings on our team, but it's not over till it's over. I'm not satisfied. I'm not even content. But I'm humbled by what the Magic bring to the table. Shout out to Kells, though. Shout out to Kells getting that work. I don't know why the fuck DJ Augustine is playing so much. I don't want to go on a tangent about that, but shout out to Kells putting in work. Jonathan Isaac, you got sketchy shit going on with your beliefs and shit, but you want to be a pastor, so that's all good and shit. But research the Black Lives Matter movement, my man's. While you off the court, I'm really sorry that happened to you, literally, because you were a good piece to this team. But take this time to do some research on shit, and I continue to praise God and all that stuff. Mo Bamba, where the fuck you at? Gucci man, you the man. But yeah, 3-1. We coming back, and we're gonna make some noise.
Make some noise. What did you think when they beat the Bucks the first game? Were you like, this is a mirage? Enjoy it, smoke them while you got them, or something like that?
Wow. I was surprised. I'm a realist. I'm a realist as well as a fan. But at the same time, when we're clicking on all cylinders, we can beat any team in this league, and we weren't even healthy all the way. But again, it was really off the strength of what Gucci man was able to bring to the table. We just need to give Markelle Fultz that work, man. Let him get minutes and see what the fuck he is. Former number one overall pick. And again, Jonathan Isaac, as long as he can praise Christ and play basketball at the same time. Shout out to Chet, or I'm not sure if that's his real first name, but you know who my man's is, coming out of Auburn, who tore his ACL. He didn't get a chance to play. Man, get healthy, come back. But we're making moves down here in Orlando. And shout out to the coach, Steve Alford. But with that being said, I don't think that's a good look for the Bucks that we beat them. We're the worst team in the playoffs. So if I'm Milwaukee, definitely shout out to you guys for understanding that when somebody is wrongfully murdered in your backyard, that you should do something about it. But also, when you guys get back on the court, make sure y'all got y'all shit together, because you're not looking like the number one overall seed.
He's gone after this season. There's no way he plays for the Bucks, Giannis. He's going to Golden State, right? Is that a done deal?
If he goes to Golden State, I want to hear all that shit that they was talking about Kevin Durant about Giannis, even though that would be crazy. But I blame Chris Middleton. I don't like to single out players, but Chris Middleton is going to be the reason why Giannis leaves the Milwaukee Bucks. He's just not good enough, as well as the GM. I'm not mad at Giannis if he leaves. He seems like the type of guy that's kind of cut from that Damian Lillard cloth, where they kind of want to be a little stubborn and not do, I guess, what the trendy thing is, which is link up with the premier talent to try to make a championship run. And I do respect him for that. But at the same time, if you want to get out of Milwaukee, I can't blame you for that. They haven't really done much to make me want to stay.
I found this interesting that they're saying Coach Pop is leaving the Spurs because he knows he doesn't have that much time left. And they're saying he's going to go to like the Nets, maybe the 76ers. I don't know, man. Like, I would love to see Pop win one more. I don't think it would work at all at the Nets, though, because whatchamacallit, who's Flat Earther over there? He seems to, he seems to run a tight ship and throws a lot of people, to the Sharks. I would love to see Pop win again, but, like, why would he? I don't know. I mean, is he going to leave? Like, where would he go?
I mean, 5 championships is a lot. Again, I don't know if he's the coach of the Nets, if that's the thing that pushed them over the top as far as title contenders. Golden State is cooking up some real crazy shit with that lottery pick that they have, and with everybody coming back healthy. But I can understand if you want to change your pace. Maybe, him and R.C. Buford, the GM down there, aren't really as tight-knit as people think, and he's looking for a change of scenery. And if that's the case, I don't think there's a better situation out there to win a championship than with Kevin Durant and Kyrie. But to your point, I don't really know if Kyrie or even Kevin Durant, to that fact, are the type of players that have proven that they want to be coached really, or really coached hard. And Pop seems like he's the type that's going to bring his system from San Antonio to Brooklyn that doesn't have much of a system or culture already. So, again, to your point, I don't know if that's the best fit, but if I'm leaving San Antonio, it's the most logical fit to try and get me a ring because Philly is a shit show.
I don't like Philly. I'm glad they lost. Like, I don't even know what Ben Simmons does. They say he's a point guard, but he can't.
Defense.
But he can't shoot. But he's like this big, tall ostrich point guard who can't shoot. Like, everyone has to. How do you not shoot? How are you in the NBA and not shoot? That's just like, I play safety, but I can't tackle. Like, I don't understand how that works. How he's an effective player if he can't even shoot.
You pass, you defend, you rebound.
He's not an alpha. Alphas shoot. Kobe, MJ, they shot the ball. They didn't.
Yeah, but that's because they actually have good form and a repetition and they're confident. It's pretty much all confidence at this point, especially not to pull out another Magic plug, when you see a guy like Markelle out here in the playoff situation taking confident jump shots. So that's more surprising to me, and I feel like it's an underspoken storyline. You got a guy who like Markelle, who people say his shot was fucked up in a new situation, taking more shots than a lottery #1 overall pick, who's been given nothing but praise and has been asked to shoot. So I feel like it's definitely more something in between the earlobes when it comes to Ben Simmons, and it's also something that's holding Philly back as far as his unwillingness to attempt jump shots in regulation games.
All right, one more thing before we move on. There's listening to like the Portland games. The name Gary Trent Jr. annoys me. I don't know why, Sammy. It just like they just whenever they want to like they can't just say Trent Jr. It has to be the full name. Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. It sounds like a law office or something like that. Like, and I thought this, like, if you think offhand, like, oh, this got to be like a white guy. Like, he's Gary Trent. Like, I don't know that many black people named Trent. But
like
it's
Duncan
not.
Robinson.
That's it. But I mean, is he even that good, Sammy? Gary Trent Jr. Or do any names bug you? Am I just nuts?
Just because I want to pick at you, I don't have any names off the top of my head that annoy me, but I definitely understand what you mean. I don't have that problem with my man. He out here getting pub. His name is Gary Trent. His dad played ball. He got a little pull out here, so he's the junior. I'm a junior. That shit can be whack sometimes. So I can understand if everyone in the world always called him Gary Trent Jr. But put a little respect on my man.
I didn't know you were. How come you don't?
Every once in a while, and
how come you don't
playing his draft pick?
How come you don't go by Junior then?
Cause I don't fuck with that shit. That's too long.
Can I call you JR?
Yeah, I am the JR, but man, that's not how I live my life. You know what I'm saying? So
I won't call you. I won't.
Sitting out on the wing hitting threes.
I won't call you JR. All right, so Sammy, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna throw this at you. Your boy on the Ravens.
My boy, hold on.
Kicked out.
Okay, let's go.
Fight. What happened?
All right, man. Rest
Earl
in peace
Thomas,
to Earl
we're
Thomas
talking
as a
about.
Raven. I'm just gonna be honest with it. You know, that's how we do at the Sports Savage Show. This really ain't got nothing to do with that little fight, y'all. He got it popping over the off season, which is now illegal. He had a little infidelity going on. He is a married man, full disclosure, but he got it popping with his brother. And he got into some scandalous shit. So I feel like the Ravens are going to more so use that to try to recoup some of that $10 million that they owe him this season alone. But it's bigger than that one situation that he got into, even though that was a strange situation itself. He's a very, he living his life to the fullest, and he's living a life a little too fast. But with that being said, we got championship runs over here in Baltimore, so we ain't got time for that.
I know, y'all's defense is already sick. Like, it's definitely gonna hurt. Like, I don't know who the starter is gonna be now, but how confident?
Sean Elliott.
How confident are you that the Ravens are gonna go to the Super Bowl? Like, you have to be confident. You have to.
Yeah, when you got a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, the confidence is just there. Let me set this straight. Earl Thomas is a Hall of Fame safety, so you don't take a Hall of Fame player off of your defense and just automatically get better, especially when you put in an unproven guy like Deshaun Elliott. But shout out to Deshaun because he's willing to take on the challenge. But with that being said,
he
wasn't. What you say?
He has to take on the challenge.
Yeah, but he's ready though. Some people don't be ready, and he's ready though. Man,
we'll find out. We'll find out how ready he is.
You only got one way to find out. But what I'm hearing from different sources is that he wasn't a Raven, and you can say that's cliche. And every organization has that saying about whatever the mascot of their franchise is, but it means something up there in Baltimore. So if the team wasn't fucking with you, or maybe you wasn't necessarily rocking with the leaders of the team being more so younger guys, i.e. Lamar, Hollywood, and even Amar Ingram, then you're not a right fit. So we'll put in a guy who is a right fit. So like you said, we'll see how much we miss him. But if I'm being honest, I don't think we miss him more than trying to keep him around would have been a detriment to the team.
We're going to go college football. I read this story that, like, Notre Dame kind of persuade the ACC and, like, the they were kind of, like, on the edge. Because everybody knew Clemson wanted to play. Everybody knew, like, the top 5 teams wanted to play, right? And the Big Ten, they're a bunch of pussies. And I don't use that P word a lot, but they are. Like, they totally jumped the gun. See, I bring this up because Sammy's soapbox is coming up, so I'm trying to rile Sammy up just a little bit. But I wanted to see college football. I wanted to see every game because I'm selfish, and it's all about me, and I wanted to watch it. So now all the parents, they want to play. They're petitioning the Big Ten, and now the Big Ten's like, oh, we're gonna do like a spring league. No one's gonna give a shit about that spring league. All the good players are gonna get ready for the draft. Why would they play in that? It doesn't matter. It's stupid. I think somehow, some way, Big Ten teams are going to play. They're just going to go off. They're just going to accept bids, like Alabama. Hey, we got a slot open because such and so got COVID. How's your team looking? Like, I think that's what's going to happen. I think the schedule doesn't matter because the schedule is going to change. It's going to be who's ever available at the time. Because one team's going to get wiped out. The whole offensive line has COVID. Got to shut that down. Johnny Pimple Popper University, they got a team. They're ready to go. Like, I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be mix and match. And we'll see. We'll see if my prediction rings true. But I think it will. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I can see it being a free-for-all, to be honest. You can... I guess look at it positive, like you'll maybe have a better chance of any as the premier talent from all around the country going against each other because it's really only going to be the cream of the crop. They can afford to pull their nuts out and be like, yeah, we're going to push through this whole pandemic thing. Even though I have heard about like some Division II and Division III schools that are in states that really don't, I guess, have higher, whatever you determine that to be, case counts. getting it in, like Montana and Dakota and places like that. But as far as on a national scale, I feel like it's going to be your Ohio States, maybe getting a bid from the SEC or the ACC, like you said, like Notre Dame joining in. But with that being said, it's a money machine. The NCAA is a money machine, and college sports is a money machine. So as long as there's cash to be made, there's going to be some type of product being produced.
Yeah, I hope it happens. I mean, it's supposed to happen pretty soon. It's supposed to happen in a few weeks. I still don't believe it though. Like, I don't believe that it's gonna happen. They keep practicing. They keep, I'm watching all these updates. Because I'm so locked in on Florida State this season because of their new coach and all this stuff that's been going on. But we had a Sammy soapbox about college football. Do you wanna crack that open, Sammy?
Yeah, wait, what are we cracking open? Hold on.
You had a Sammy soapbox about college football.
Oh yeah, man. Just this edition, we're doing some new shit. We got a salt title, Sammy Soapbox. Shout out to the Savage Life for being an asshole and coming up with that off the spot. But yeah, tonight's episode, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be about college sports and really college football, because that's the only sport that fucking matters. These kids aren't being compensated for the performances that they're providing to. Yes, they're getting a free education, and if we did the research on that education, it's not really a real education, because it's a lot of bullshit classes. Because these kids have been getting bullshit classes since they were kids because they're good at sports. But I'm not here for that. I'm here for college sports. So fuck the education part. There's a lot of people who are making so much money off of these kids going out there and providing us with the entertainment of their football talents. And they're not able to be compensated in the way that they should be. They're just able to now make money off of their likeness, and that's good for the ones who are actually able to sell their likeness. There's many more players out there who aren't selling their likeness, who are still putting their bodies and even to an extreme point their lives on the line, again, just so we can be entertained. So shout out to America for allowing their kids back on college campuses just so we can be entertained by football, because that shit is sketchy within itself. Shout out to us really not taking this pandemic serious at all. And let's just hope that that's, that as America, we're strong enough to just push through that shit. And maybe it's not as serious as it should be. But with that being said, everybody else who's going to be providing us with entertainment on these TV networks are being paid a handsome amount. Maybe the ladies will have something to argue with that in the WNBA, and I feel y'all on that, ladies, but y'all still getting some type of paycheck. I just wanted to keep in mind that these kids that we like to call kids when we want to make them do shit, but call them adults when they get jammed up in bullshit situations and get kicked off the teams or get into legal situations. They are men when they're tried by the law. So let's look at them as men when they go out here and entertain us on Saturdays as who not being paid or really being compensated for that matter. So tonight's episode is just for all my college football fans, including myself. Shout out to the Knights. Again, I'm everything Orlando. Just keep that in mind. When you really want your football around, that we about to put these fucking kids out here on the field who also want to play, but what do kids know? We about to put them on the field for the free ski. So shout out to that.
That was, I like that. We're Sammy soapbox. So there is a few arguments as to why it might be safe to play. If you're an athlete, you get tested every day. I mean, this is a have and have not situation. A lot of students were all tested when they got on campus. North Carolina shut down after like one day. Alabama, like it's over 500. Who knows what it is now? I think they took a break. Luckily for me, my university is smart enough to say we're doing it all online, but I am in Los Angeles, California. So, of course, we have more of a scientific approach than if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of approach to it. So, but I want to watch it. I do, and they're saying but then again, it's fucked up because not all the students are going to get the treatment that the athletes are going to get. Like if you're an athlete, yeah, you get a lot of special treatment. You get a medical staff. You get all this kind of tested all the time. You get you're looked after more, but these other kids, they're not. So I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Like they should just do a bubble type situation. Just fly all. I don't know how they. I don't know how they would do it.
Well, yeah. I was about to say. I was about to ask. I want to know how a college bubble works. Now, to the point of the NHL and the NBA, MLB, they don't have bubbles, and they're still able to put on a product, but they're coming up with positive tests.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying, or really anybody who's saying that they want to watch college football, because I also want to watch college football. I just don't want people to forget that they're not getting fucking paid, and I don't want to hear about the stipends that they get, or how the top ones who are going to the NFL got people around them who are fronting them money, so they're not really living like that. I'm talking about the 63 or the 83 or whatever number man roster a college team can hold. They're about to be put on national television so that we can watch them. And anybody else who's on national television gets some type of paycheck. They get some type of compensation for that. So I don't want that to be lost, especially in these times where we're telling our kids one thing about being safe during this time, but we're putting these quote-unquote kids just out on this field simply for our entertainment. Because, again, college football, let alone with sports in general, can be argued really isn't the most necessary of things. So just keep in mind that LeBron James and Breonna Stewart and I'm trying to name a baseball player, but there's one famous, Clayton Kershaw, and my dog Ovechkin. They get a direct deposit every couple of weeks, and it's pretty nice. Some nicer than others. But your boy in Ohio State, or Trevor Lawrence, he's not getting that, allegedly, if you know
Right.
what I'm saying.
Oh, we got to do a special about like the biggest times college athletes got paid. I mean, Cam Newton was on the phone. The money is just too much. Reggie Bush.
Shout out to Zion. Zion got that.
Zion, that was swept under the rug faster than me cleaning my room as an 8-year-old.
Wait,
like,
but Zion didn't get that back.
was
His stepdad got that back.
so quick. Like we don't even. There was a huge scandal involving a bunch of schools that we just forgot about. Like, they'll talk about something else. Like they always get a free pass. The NCAA's got to go. We got to figure out something else. I'm saying Nick Saban needs to step down from Alabama. Because he's only going to coach for a few more years. He needs to be the president of college football. He needs to be the guy that's going to be like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Because then he wouldn't be biased just towards Alabama. He'd be biased towards college football. And that's a guy you would want to be biased towards college football. He will do whatever it takes to make sure it's successful and it's safe and all that kind of thing. So I'm throwing his hat into the ring. Someone said Mac Brown. That would be another good one.
I mean, it makes more sense to have a football person who, as well, has some type of business experience in that type of role. And I don't know enough about the NCAA other than they move like the mafia. But I don't know if it's broken down by sports. So I don't know if the leader of the NCAA, his name is away from me right now, but I think he's in charge of basketball and baseball and softball and soccer and all the other sports. So I don't understand why they wouldn't divide those sports into different departments or different heads, so they can put people who are more, like you say, champion or advocating for that particular sport, and not really the NCAA as a whole, because the NCAA is only here for one reason, and they only promote two, and that's to provide, I guess, rule and fairness over the national playing field when it comes to collegiate sports, and to profit. So they're doing one of them really well.
I know. I lost my train of thought, but yeah, I really forgot.
What's the name of my man who run the NCAA? Because I don't want him to go unnamed.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. Thank you
that
for clarifying that. Like, I meant like Nick Saban to run like the football show. Obviously not like fencing or whatever. So let me ask you, like,
or do we really need an NCAA?
No, you don't. It's a scam. It's a middleman. It's a filter just to get all the sediment, Anyway, what if this is like a revolution in college football? Like, what if? Because we're seeing all these like programs being slashed, right? Like certain like sports are getting cut, this, that, and the other. What if certain universities become, like it'd be like the NFL, like there's only 16 teams, right? What if there's only going to be like 40 to 50 colleges that allow college football? I mean, obviously the product would, I don't know if it'd be better or worse because it'd be more condensed, But then again, how often does Weber State beat Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean, as far as few in between, I guess if you're someone on the NCAA side, you would say that you break up the money so that those Weaver states are able to function. But if you open their books, I don't know if they're doing that in the right ways. So you need your big man and your little man, but at the same time, it's the TV networks because Weaver State is on TV. They're just not on ABC. They're on whatever local fucking network
Or
Weaver State is.
ESPN
And shout out to
Plus
all our
or something like
watchers
that.
from Weaver State, whatever state that's in. But you guys know that y'all college isn't really rocking on TNT like that when y'all play. So it's really more so the heavy hitters, the national favorites that really have any weight or really can make any change if it comes to the NCAA. But the schools, the ADs, the chancellors of the schools, they're way too embedded with the NCAA and the profit machine to really switch anything up. I feel like it would really more so come from the talent taking it upon themselves and making moves. So I like the idea of promoting more of our HBCUs. I feel like historically black universities should be way better at all sports than they are, simply because most black people go to HBCUs and most black people are good at basketball and football. So it doesn't really add up that one is true and the other one isn't. So it really just comes from booster and it really comes from money. So maybe the breaking up of the NCAA could do something like that. And you still have your talented non-black players who will have the choice to either go to these HBCUs because they see that's where the talent at, or go to the traditional schools. But it will still provide a little more level playing field when it comes to the money that's being made. Because like you said, it's really only being profited by maybe 50 schools that actually get that big billion-dollar type of money. So I feel like the small man is necessary. If you ask Carson Wentz, the run he went on, I think it was in North Dakota State or something like that. He proved that he could be a top tier guy, and you still got guys like that who go to those smaller schools and prove that they're just as bad as anybody else. So they're definitely necessary, but it's also necessary for the bigger schools to kind of just do better business practices. They don't want to be looked at as a business. They want to say that's a school, but the highest paid non-educational employee in a lot of these states are the college football coaches. So if it's not a business, why the fuck is everybody making so much money? Or just treat it like that?
It is. It's a cash cow, and it's so. And the thing I like about college football is the excess. Bowl week. Bowl week is so useless. Like all it is a cash grab. Like those first few bowl games are like pathetic, But of course, you're gonna watch.
6 wins.
Exactly. I remember one team. I forgot they had a losing record, and they went and they won. It was like Syracuse one year, or Boston College. Somebody had a losing record, winning into the bowl game and beat them. But it's just sports. It's.
What do you think about our college kids and their protesting? I didn't think about it on this level. What do you think about?
Schools did, like Boston College did. I forget the other one that did. I don't know. I mean, if I'm college football, I guess it's for something that you want to stand up for. But if I'm college football and it's coming in hot, well, first of all, I'm a coach. I ask the team. I say, what do you guys want to do? And if they say they want to,
unless you're Dabo Swinney,
yeah,
and then you don't talk about the rest of shit. You keep that on the rest.
But I mean, I would encourage them to practice. I would say, I think it's very admirable for you to want to do that. But we got a game coming up in 3 months. But if y'all wanted to, absolutely, I don't care. But if you're asking my opinion, I think we can still honor what happened and practice. But then again, it is just a game, Sammy.
Yeah, and I was more so meaning when the games actually start. I hope any college player feels empowered just like their professional brothers and sisters, and that's not a black thing. That's a player thing. Any player who feels any way about police brutality or social injustice should feel empowered to do any type of protest that they want. And just like they want to be, they want them to be on television to entertain us. Their message on that public stage should also be listened and seen. So I do see some of the primetime players when they were making their voice known about everything that's going on, including the pandemic. So I was just wondering what you thought about that continuing and seeing if they really were able to make that happen when the games actually start.
I hope they do it. I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, unless there's like a direct fit. But I mean, this is, the way our society is going, like, we are getting more progressive. I remember, you could say a year ago, more than half of college football coaches wouldn't allow people to kneel because it was disrespectful. Like, you could make that argument. Now, it would be an outrage if they wouldn't let the players kneel.
Right.
There's, like we said before, there's so much power that's going to the players, and it hasn't really bled into college sports just yet, but it could, and if a big team didn't want to play, I think that would impact, because people are getting pissed. They're like, oh, well, they should just, shut up and play. And people are like, I'm not watching sports anymore. You're going to watch sports. Shut up. What else are you going to watch? If you don't want to watch sports because of that, and it's just, just people, they'll pick and choose whatever they want. It's a cafeteria culture. I want this. I don't want that. But I'm still, whatever. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I don't know, Sammy. I think we're just gonna have to wait and see. I
But
hope.
okay, but I will say this: do you recall the soccer player who plays for FC Dallas, and when he took his knee, and those fans and how they responded to that? I'm really interested to see some of these rural area fans.
Oh yeah.
I'll just leave it at that because there's all type of people in all type of places. I would love to see how the fuck they would respond to their predominantly black team. Really taking the actual stand during their precious song that means so much to them that they don't want to fucking listen to why they're kneeling in the first place.
I don't even know why we played the national anthem in the beginning of we shouldn't. Why it's college football. It should be stadium's choice. If they want to play it, sure. Right. If they don't, then play whatever you want. Play the thong song. Who let the dogs out? I don't care. Play whatever you want before the game. But you should be able to do whatever you want. You're being an American. There's no rules about how you want to celebrate this country. If you want to celebrate it, hand over your heart, hat off, over, God bless America, sure. If you want to take a knee and raise your hand for, to bring up racial injustice, that's what you get. That's your right as an American. You get to do whatever you want.
I don't like it, though. Unless I don't like it, then it makes me mad.
Yeah. I don't like it. But we'll see. I don't know. I hope that it is still broadcasted throughout the season, but I want to see action happen from it. I just don't. Just like everybody else, and just like I'm sure you are. Talk is cheap enough. It's super cheap at this point. We got to see something happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I can't agree on with any naysayers or anyone who I guess will be on the opposite side of the argument on what these professional athletes are doing is let's not make our athletes our politicians. Let's not make them more powerful than they really are. They've done something in this moment. That is true. They have decided to not entertain us again, and that means something. But them not deciding to entertain us hopefully will bring about change in different windows outside of sports that will then make the protests that seem to upset people so much in sports go away. So either you're not interested or not invested enough in the actual reasonings of why people are protesting things to actually see it change, or you're so invested in that lifestyle or that choice to choose to treat a certain type of people a certain type of way that it frustrates you that you can't watch sports and have that type of world as well. So the sense is common. It's just people who don't agree with this. So we'll see if professional athletes can kick that ball down the road to helping at least with the police brutality part. Social injustice, that's been going on since the beginning of America, especially when it comes to race relations. But I think no matter what race you are, hopefully you can agree that just because you have a police badge, that you can just kill unarmed people because they're black. I think that's a simple statement that most people should be able to agree with. And let's kind of just start with that.
It's thinking about people who get angry and don't want to watch something. The only time I got angry at something while I was watching it and actually walked out was when I went to go see Hangover 3. That was the worst movie. Did you see that movie? I walked out of the theater. I got so mad. I protested outside. I was like, No more hangovers. And everybody loved it. They're like, yeah, no more hangovers. I'm talking about the movie. Oh, never mind. So, but no. That didn't happen. Okay, so this is basically going to be the show format. We would appreciate more, we had Charles Dawkins, Sports Savage, back at it. Black Fist, White Fist, basketball, soccer ball, baseball. No football. No, I'm just kidding. Appreciate the shout out. Sammy, we've talked about something that I've always wanted to do, and I asked you about it. We want to try to do a live commentary on a game. So a soccer game, football game, basketball game. We don't know what it is, so maybe you can tell us. So call or text the number right there, or you can email the show, the Sports Savage Show at gmail.com. You could have called. You could have made history tonight. You could have been on. You could have had a voicemail. You could have had a text. Super easy. You don't want me to know who it is? Be anonymous. That's fine. But
yeah, do they still do the *6ix9ine shit? Yeah, do that shit. Like,
yeah, we don't care. I'm not gonna call you back, like, cause that's on my. It's a Google phone. I'm not really sure how it works, but. So this is it. We appreciate anybody. We had people watching. That was cool. We're going to be back Sunday. We're going to try to do this every Thursday and Sunday. If you missed the live show.
We're going to do this every Thursday, every Sunday, and people are going to start using the fucking number, and they're going to start texting and calling. And if you don't like my profanity, then call in and say that you don't like the profanity. But, reach out, man. We're back.
Yeah, and if you missed the show, we're going to upload it so you can watch it anytime. If you're just hanging out, just put on the audio. Oh, I need to clean the house. Let me put on Sports Savage. Let me hear these two knuckleheads talk about whatever. We might go longer in the future. We're just going to try to shoot for this hour time frame in the meantime. But we're interested to know what you're interested in. So, holla at us. Sammy, did we miss anything?
More interactive. Did we miss anything? Nah, I got my Ravens in there. Except for Earl Thomas, Lamar Jackson is probably going to win the MVP again, and he's going to win the Super Bowl. I got my Magic talk in there. Nothing really to say about the Knights. Man, thanks for having me back. We back at it. Shout out to all their interactions. There need to be more. But again, consistency is the key of life, people. So we're going to bring that to you.
All right. So that's it. That's all we got. See you Sunday. Peace out.
Peace.